right? I don't know if you caught Joni Ernst's, the pig castrator from Iowa. If you caught her Republican rebuttal, boy, did somebody teach her how to smile while she talks. I tried to learn that once, when I first started in television. It's like, learn how to smile while you talk so that you're always smiling while you're talking. And it just came across as so. I was looking at her and I was going, wow, Stepford Wives. And then I said that to Louise. And then I thought, is that a sexist statement or not? I'm not sure. But it was, maybe men do that too. I suppose. I don't know. I'm not even sure most women do that. It was odd. But that's, that's kind of catty and tacky and gossipy and whatever, and frankly beneath me to go into that. My apologies, Jody. I shouldn't pick on the way that you did your presentation. At least you didn't drink the tea that Marco Rubio gave you. We were all speculating yesterday. What's Rubio going to give her, right? Is he going to give her like atropine or scopolamine? These the stuff that used to be in the old Contact cold capsules that they make out of crab apples that dry you up so much that you get dry mouth, so that you've got to lurch and grab a glass of water in the middle of your talk? Or was he going to do the old frat boy joke? Put some X-Lax in her chocolate cake, or what was it going to be? How is Marco Rubio going to blow this up? But apparently he didn't. I don't know. Apparently he didn't. She did a fine delivery. What's particularly interesting is that Joni Ernst, number one, her family's taken over $460,000 in federal welfare checks. Welfare for farmers. Corn supports and price supports and, basically all the various kinds of welfare that big, corporate farmers get. She told this story about how she had to put bread bags over her shoes as a little kid to go to school in the winter, and it didn't feel so bad because all the other little kids do. And it was a story about, basically poverty in rural America. It's a very moving story. And I'm perfectly willing to assume that it was true. I mean, this was apparently before the farm price supports started kicking in. I guess, I don't know how old she is, but, maybe in any case. But now that she's a senator, if she was trying to say, this is what I don't get. It's one of two messages. Just think about this for a minute. She was delivering really one of two messages. Either one was, I grew up in poverty and I made it so anybody can make it in America. That's a nice message. It's unfortunately no longer true. I mean, yes, you can make it as a right-wing commentator or as a right-wing politician because there are billionaires who will give you a lot of money if you say the right things. But you can't, America is now the least socially mobile country of all the 34 developed countries in the world, the OECD nations. We are the least socially mobile. In other words, we are the country in which you are least likely to grow up in poverty and end up in the middle class. In the case of Joni Ernst now, the upper middle class, with all the money that her family's getting from the federal government. And, of course, she didn't mention that. She's either saying that, or she's saying, I grew up in poverty and had to put bread bags on my shoes, and you should too, and that's why I'm not going to raise the damn minimum wage. That there's virtue in growing up in poverty. Which message do you think she was trying to convey? I frankly think it's the latter, given her policy positions. Poor people shouldn't have free health care. Poor people shouldn't have a raised minimum wage. The working poor. Poor people shouldn't have. I mean, you can go down the list, right? Shouldn't have access. Shouldn't have Social Security when they retire. Shouldn't have Medicare when they retire. I mean, these are all official Republican positions. Either they shouldn't have them, or if they do have them, they should be delivered by some billionaire on Wall Street who's going to skim a bunch of money off the top.